Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for High Velocity Radio.
Welcome to Coach, helping business coaches deliver more impact in less time. Broadcasting live on High Velocity Radio and the Business Radio X network. If you're a business coach and want to help more people make more money and own your backyard, go to mybrxstudio.com. Stone Payton here with you this afternoon. Lee Cantor, my partner in crime, conspicuously absent, doing some hosting over there across town at a co-working space, but you are in for a real treat. Please join me in welcoming to the broadcast with quietexperts.com, Mr. Bayo AO. How are you, sir?
I am very fine, thank you, and thank you very much for having me.
Well, it is absolutely our pleasure. I genuinely have been looking forward to this interview for quite some time for a lot of reasons, not the least of which you make no secret about declaring that you are, in fact, an introvert. My business partner and often co-host, particularly on this series, Lee Cantor, would say the same thing about himself, yet he's incredibly successful, has built a great little media business. Obviously, you have found your stride. Tell us a little bit about what you're out there doing for folks. How are you serving people, Bayo?
Well, thanks again for having me, and it's great to be on this show. I believe that we all have a calling in life. People call it different things, but until you connect with your true calling, in whatever field it is, you really will feel that you're making a contribution to the world. And it's really important, over and above anything that we do, that we make a contribution, and we feel that every single day that we wake up, that we're changing lives and we're improving the world. So my focus is, again, really on helping the most highly introverted experts. I refer to them as quiet experts. I help the most highly introverted, quiet experts, introvert entrepreneurs online with ways that they can attract better quality prospects, ways that they can get more leads, about 2 to 5 times more leads each month, ways for them to enroll dream clients and also grow their business. The word that's normally used is scale their business, but I believe it's growing a business, because the truth is not everyone wants to make 6 figures. Some people just want to do what their heart tells them to do. But the important thing is focusing on introverts specifically. It's how to do these things without pressure selling, without anxiety, and without the fear that normally comes with all of these business development activities. And I think finally as well, it's how you can do this within 90 days. So that really is the focus of everything that I do for introvert entrepreneurs online.
So historically, has it been your experience historically, prior to bringing this body of work to bear and serving introverts, experts in this fashion, historically have extroverts, and I guess I might put myself in that camp, have we had a little, have we been better at marketing or been getting better marketing results historically? There's been a disparity in that regard?
Well, I don't know if, to be honest, I don't know if it's that extroverts get better results, but one thing I can say from my experience, and I started back in London in June of 1995 when I had no clue about what I wanted to do. I knew who I wanted to serve. And the internet obviously wasn't what it is today, but even as things grew over time, the assumptions that are normally made is that, everyone's an introvert. So what we hear a lot of is, go out there, be everywhere. You've got to be everywhere, and you've got to do all these things that sometimes friends of mine describe them as weird. I just think they're introvert unfriendly, because we're not all comfortable getting in front of the camera. We're not all comfortable having chit chats and making small talk. So there are a lot of things out there that have, just by the nature of the growth of the internet and by global borders for business being broken down, assumes that everyone is the same, and that just isn't true. And being an INFJ myself, and that will resonate with anyone who's an introvert, being an INFJ myself, I've firsthand experienced the challenges and the bias towards, sorry to say this, towards extroverts in literally everything that's done in regards to business development, marketing, selling, and keeping and retaining clients and customers. So that's been part of the driving force behind establishing quietexperts.com and the solutions that we provide.
Well, it certainly sounds like a very noble pursuit. Are the strategies and tactics? In fact, let's pick one. Let's say that one of the things that an introvert expert wants to do is really what's the right word? Differentiate themselves. Really come across as authentically unique. Are you advising them, and are you giving them tools to approach that differently than maybe someone like me might approach that task?
Well, the short answer is, first of all, it's a great question, and the short answer is yes. Ultimately, there are basic principles of business development and marketing and business growth that work. It's how we implement them based on our personality type and playing to our strengths that really makes a difference. The best way for introvert entrepreneurs online to go from appearing commonplace to being authentically unique is to take all the information that you've got about your dream client and use it to create your own version of what I call your unique marketing message. Now, what is this? This is going to be one sentence that you take with you when doing virtually anything to do with marketing your introvert-led solutions, either to businesses or to individuals. And the great thing about your unique marketing message is that when created correctly, it allows you to play to your strength as an introvert entrepreneur online and as a quiet expert. It's going to transform whatever you're doing currently, your current marketing messaging, from being really repulsive to being incredibly irresistible to your dream clients. And the key phrase there is your dream clients. And it'll also help you establish micro-celebrity in your niche without having to be pushy, salesy, or try to come across as introverted when you're not. So that is the way that people can really become really authentic in what they're doing and feel authentic, because you've condensed all of your marketing, your products, your services and solutions into a single powerful sentence that can at least quadruple your business, if nothing else.
Well, I'll tell you what I find most compelling, and there was a lot that you just said that I find very attractive. What I find most compelling about what you just said is that you do this in a way that allows people to play to their strength, that instead of trying to cover up or brush over what some may regard as a weakness or a shortfall, what you're doing is you're turning that on its ear, and you're playing to leveraging, capitalizing on their strength to pull this off. Yeah?
Yeah, that's right. And you know that I said it's about your dream clients. Where a lot of introvert, highly skilled, by the way, introvert entrepreneurs online and quiet experts, where they struggle is, and I think it's Dan Kennedy, one of the marketing greats, that mentioned it, that when you have a ladder, which is a solution, you've got to make sure that it's propped up against the right wall. Because you can prop your ladder, metaphorically speaking, against any wall, but is it the right wall? And in this case, it's about the dream client. So there are things that need to happen before you get into your messaging. You've got to understand who your dream client is. And I say that you've got to have a dream client snapshot, because it's stressful enough for most introverted experts or quiet experts, which is the way I lovingly refer to introvert entrepreneurs. It's stressful enough to find and then engage those that we want to serve. So having that dream client snapshot helps you get crystal clear on exactly who your target market is, so that you can figure out how to craft messaging that makes sense and is generally calibrated to that target audience. And if you're talking to the right people, you don't need to use hype. You don't need to use fake scarcity. You don't need to use all those, what I call marketing shenanigans that goes on.
Okay, but what I hear,
makes sense.
Well, it does make sense, and what I think I'm beginning to resonate with is this idea that you have codified. You've put some structure, some rigor, some discipline around specific methodology or process for identifying who, identifying where, then building the how, and doing all of those things in a way that is consistent with a person's predisposed approach, worldview and approach to life, not trying to squeeze them into, do it stone successful, do it Stone's way. Well, no, let's do it in a way that fits your skin. Sounds like you've figured that out.
Stone. Because everyone, think about it. For instance, you identified as being an extrovert at the start of this, this conversation.
Right.
And is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. But the truth is, we're not all extroverts. So the way that an extrovert might market and position themselves and do things is going to be different to the way that an introvert entrepreneur online or a quiet expert is going to do it. That's just a fact. And remember, I bring this from my experience of, I didn't say this at the start, I failed in business 3 times in a row. For many of the reasons that existed back then that still exist today, that many people are still making the same mistakes. It was trying to do things that didn't allow me to play to my strengths. If I was in a meeting, I'd be the one against the wall, not talking to anyone. When video came out, then I didn't want to be in front of a camera. But there are ways you can do it. All these things are powerful, by the way. You do have to network. You do have to promote. You do have to make sure that people know that you have a solution for the pain that they have. But it's how you do it as an introvert entrepreneur that makes the real difference. And that is really what I'm focused on. But even within introvert entrepreneurs online, there are differences. We're not all the same. Being an introvert is not a label. It's just we're not shy. It's a preference of doing certain things. But you have to understand exactly what those things are and how do you align them with solid marketing principles that allow you to leverage everything you do. And again, I have nothing against introverts. I've got many good friends who are experts and extroverts, but the way they do things is fundamentally different to the way that I do things and we do things. And the introvert market is definitely underserved.
All right, let's talk about money for a minute. And this may be an unfounded question. It might be based on a myth or an assumption, but let's go there for a moment. Do introverts have different struggles, or do they historically have more of a challenge, I don't know, setting fee structure, getting paid what they're worth, that kind of thing? Or is there any counsel that you might offer around introverts specifically positioning themselves and communicating fee structure and that kind of stuff?
Yeah. This is something that, great question again. Let me just say one word: money. Now, I can guarantee you that when I said that word, money, people would have felt different things in their body based on their experience with money to date and their story. When we hear the word money, it evokes emotions, it evokes feeling. And for some of your listeners right now, money will be, it's energy. That's what I believe as well. It's energy. It's out there. It needs to flow. For some other people, for some other introvert entrepreneurs, the thought of money makes them fearful. But at the end of the day, unless you're doing what you do as a not-for-profit, you have to ask people for money. It's the energy around that a lot of introvert entrepreneurs, and let's just put extroverts aside for now, that a lot of introvert entrepreneurs online struggle with. And here's what I see, part of the struggle, where it comes from. If what you offer seems very similar or exactly the same to what your competitor offers, well, how do you explain that you want to charge a certain price for the value that you deliver when someone else who seems to be doing what you're doing is charging probably a quarter of what you're charging? A very good example is things like strategy sessions and other things around that area where people tread very tentatively. Well, here's the thing. The mistake that people are making, even though their heart is in the right place, and I don't like using the phrase heart-centered because we're all heart-centered. If you're not, you shouldn't be in this business. But the mistake that coaches, consultants, and other experts make is that they don't differentiate themselves or their offering from their competitors. And the way that you do this, again, is by understanding who it is you're serving, what is the biggest problem that they have, how can you solve that problem, and how long is it going to take you to solve that problem using your proprietary system. If you have a system that works, that you can prove that it works, which is what the quiet experts method is, you can then charge the right price. I'd like to say premium prices, although it's not always about money, but you can charge premium prices because you're providing a solution that you know your dream client has, and you know how long it's going to take you to solve it in a systematic way that gets, very, very clear results. Without that, money will always continue to be a problem, no matter what your level of expertise is, no matter what your industry is, or no matter how long you've been in business as an introvert entrepreneur. So it's important everyone has a unique signature offer. And that is the transformation that you'll deliver to your client, to your dream client.
So you may have already started to answer this question, and maybe this question is a little too self-centered, but hey, if it helps me, it might help some of our listeners. So I'm going to ask it anyway, and I don't know that it applies only to introverts. In fact, I'm pretty sure that it doesn't. My personal experience, having come from the training and consulting world and now marketing media as a service in much of my career, is I get these peaks and valleys of lead flow and conversations with reasonably qualified candidates. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm on this merry-go-round, and if you could graph my interaction with people that I might be in a position to help, it's like this, it looks like an EKG, right? It's like, it's up and down, and then I get busy practicing my craft. Have you made any headway in that regard for anybody, introverts, extroverts, any of us, that might help us out a little bit?
Yeah, another great question. And here's the absolute honest truth. Peaks and troughs, no matter what, anyone's favorite expert or guru may say, doesn't matter. Peaks and troughs are part of business. That's just a fact. I think it's the misconception that's floated around that, you can have a six-figure business, seven-figure business, and you can relax on the beach and money's going to be pouring in from somewhere without you lifting a finger. I think that's been perpetuated. It has been perpetuated too much. The reality is, whether you have a sandwich shop, whether you have a brick and mortar business, whether you have a business that's mainly digital or operated online, there will be different times because everything is cyclical and seasonal. So yes, it's true that you can have more business than you can fulfill. Yes, it's possible that some people's their business cycle may look like an EKG going up and down, but the truth is that is just natural. It's normal, and that's to be expected. Now, having said that, what you need to do to make sure that you have as much business as you want is you've got to have a system for getting leads, for getting prospects, for getting those leads and converting them into paying clients. Now, I'll talk about that very briefly. It's about having a lead magnet system that helps you generate leads constantly so that you're not running out of business. One of the simplest things that you can do in your business is have a system that allows people to recognize that you exist, allows through this lead magnet system, and the key word in that is system, allows people to understand what you do, not only for that particular problem on a micro level, but on a macro level as well. So take the example of lead magnets, which most introvert entrepreneurs and quiet experts understand. The way that that's done is normally not the way that it should be done if you want to play to your strengths as an introvert entrepreneur online. If you're going to have, I've got a 5-point checklist. Can I just share that very quickly?
Well, please. Absolutely.
Okay. So most businesses know what a lead magnet is, even if they don't know it by that specific name or title. However, most introvert entrepreneurs online get it wrong and don't have a lead magnet system. Now, having a lead magnet system includes understanding what type of lead magnet to create, the exact content to use, and how to use it in your funnel. It also includes knowing the mistakes to avoid when creating actual lead magnets. So the 5-point checklist that I give to my Quiet Experts Method clients on how to assess if their lead magnet is built for results, it's built into an acronym known as LEADS. L stands for it needs to be laser focused, only on one solution, not multiple. It needs to be easy to implement after being consumed. Within 30 minutes of downloading your lead magnet, I've got to be able to do something. It's got to be action-oriented, and that's what A stands for, and not based on theory. It's got to be discrete, which is D, individually separate from other solutions you might be providing in your business, and then it's got to be short. So no 7-part e-course, multi-part video series, because people are drowning in information already. If you can figure out how to get whether you're an extrovert in business or an introvert, if you can figure out how to give people what they want using this leads approach within your lead magnet system, the likelihood you'll run out of clients to serve, it minimizes drastically. I don't want to say it'll go away totally, because this is just one part of an overall system you should have. But this is what stops, the EKG effect, if you like, because you've always got people coming in, and there are other things that you'll do, of course, which we may discuss during this interview or maybe later on.
The reason I'm pausing is because I'm processing this and trying to apply it to my own work. And I got to tell you, right. I admire the fact that you have chosen to specifically serve the quiet expert, the introvert. But I personally am very attracted to everything that you're saying. And I want to continue to try to apply it to what I'm doing. I tell you what would be helpful for me, and I think for our listeners, walk us through your process, if you will. If someone were to become a client or begin to talk with you guys, walk me through at least the early part of the process. Do we have a conversation? Do I fill out some information that I get to you so that you can help me design this funnel? How does that work?
Well, great question again. The very first thing has to be, determining whether or not we're a good fit. We can't, even if you're an extrovert, again, focus here is on introvert entrepreneurs, online and quiet experts. But even if you're, an extrovert, we have to make sure that there's a good fit. And what you're looking for is the prize here is the solution to your problems. Many introvert entrepreneurs, online and quiet experts, those that I've worked with and that I help, they've got things the other way around. They see the potential client as the prize, and that's not the way it is. You are the one with the prize. You have the solution to their problem, and that isn't about being arrogant. So to answer your question, the first thing is you've got to be very clear of the problem that you solve. Once again, that's another area people, introvert entrepreneurs, get it wrong. They normally go, well, I'll look at who I want to serve and the problems that those people are encountering. No, you go the other way around. The reason why you want to look at the problem you solve first, based on your introvert knowledge, skills and experience, is because it'll allow you to scale at a later stage. But for now, just imagine, I know the problem I'm going to serve. Then you've got to have market and client clarity. In other words, what market do I want to serve? And within that market, who specifically do I want to serve? So all of this is going to allow me to very, very quickly identify if we have some sort of contact. Maybe you download a lead magnet or something. Very quickly to identify what your problem is and whether it's something I can solve or not. Now, the quickest way and easiest way to do that is by getting people to pre-qualify for your solutions. In other words, that could be an application form. It could be an invitation to talk. But again, knowing that many introverts, if possible, they'd not talk to anyone, but really get into the deep work of solving the client's problems. That's where we're very, very good. We're very empathetic. If we're talking to you, it's you. We're very great listeners. But the fact is, you have to get people that you'll listen to in the first place. So the idea of talking to someone as a pre-qualification, for some people it's a little bit daunting. But again, there are ways that you can do it, that the people that come through the schedule appointments with you have pre-qualified themselves to talk with you. So all you're doing at that stage is helping them further clarify the issue that they've confirmed they want to solve. And when you approach it like that, it's not as pressurized an environment, but it's how you do it. There is a way to do it. There is a way that you either let that person know without even speaking with them that, sorry, I'm not the right person for you. And it's not a rejection of you or a rejection of them. It's just not a good fit. But if that goes through and then we do get to talk, well, then again, it's about having a conversation. We don't want every contact to be about buy my product or buy my service or solution. And by the way, a service is different from a solution in my world, but it's not about that. If maybe they just want to help, you can only help that person so far and set them on their way. So, but if you came through, we'd have that discussion. I'd make sure that you understood that you have a challenge or a problem, either a major business problem or a major life problem that you want to solve. And then we look at whether you're ready to solve the problem now or later. If I was on the phone with you and you were telling me that, you know what, Bayo, it's great, I like this, and I asked you the question, is there something you want to solve now or later? You said, well, I'm kind of undecided right now. Right there and then, it's a mental note to me that maybe this isn't something, we should be doing. And I'll be honest and upfront and say to you, Stone, hearing what you're saying now, I don't think this is something we can work on. I'm not going to wait for you to tell me that you want to go and think about it. But if we agree that it's something you want to do now, and you've seen what I can help you with, and you've already told me where your problem areas are, and we've explored them, it's only a natural progression for us to move this forward into how could this work moving forward? So that's at a very high level how it would kind of go, from you getting, this lead magnet system, going to the lead magnet system, me establishing credibility with you, and then going through to us talking and having a conversation. It's really all about the conversation.
Well, the bottom line that I'm getting from this, you eat your own cooking. Everything that you just shared with me about how you might manage our exchange in that regard, that's the same kind of counsel you would probably end up sharing with me as we built out our funnel, and our lead magnet, our process. And I don't mean a negative pejorative on this at all. I see it as very positive, but it's almost like you're stacking the deck so that if we do decide to engage that person, we're doing it the right way with the right people for the right reasons. Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely correct. And this is where introverts shine. I mean, introvert entrepreneurs are very much into the deep work. They love helping their clients, solving problems. However, this part up front needs to be done. So how can we do it in a way that's introvert friendly? And as I said, that's what I do. I do serve Fortune 500 companies. I mean, I've been a global Fortune 500 business coach for a long time. But in terms of working with introvert entrepreneurs, and this also applies whether you work with businesses or individuals, it's about knowing that the person you're speaking with is highly likely to be qualified to avail themselves, I should say, of your expertise and your solutions. You should never be chasing clients. And when you do it the right way, introvert entrepreneurs, I say they rule. They stand out and they shine.
And you're getting results like 2 to 5x, and you're getting that in like 90 days, right? I mean, this thing's really working for your clients.
Yeah, it is. Again, Stone, I mean, you might hear out there that, I can get you results in 30 days. I can get you results in any time frame. I'm not saying those don't work. What I'm saying here is for an introvert entrepreneur to, if they're a right fit and we agree to work together and they become part of the Quiet Experts Method group program, it's about looking at things that you believe in your business are working okay. Well, many times you find out that they're not. So we might look at your lead system. You might find out that, your lead magnet system isn't working the way it should. What about establishing authority? You might find out that that's not working the right way. How do you establish authority? Well, there's a way to do that. You don't just give someone a report and say, thank you for subscribing. No, there's something specifically you have to do as an introvert entrepreneur that establishes your authority and credibility right there and then. And so it's a whole series of things that we take people through, and it does take about 90 days. It can be shorter, but we need a 90-day commitment. But at the end of the 90 days, the introvert entrepreneur online we work with, the Quiet Expert, will have a fail-proof and guaranteed system for helping their clients be successful.
All right. Well, before we wrap, let's make sure that our listeners know where they can go to learn more if they want to have a conversation with you or someone on the team, or maybe dive into some of these topics, what's the best way for them to connect with you guys?
Well, the best way is to go to quietexperts.com. That's quietexperts.com. That is a central hub of everything we do. And a lot of what I've spoken about today, and people will see in evidence there. You don't need to be posting everywhere, be everywhere all the time. You just need very specific things for the right people. So it's quietexperts.com.
Well, Bayo AO with quietexperts.com. This has been a delightful conversation, very informative, inspiring. Keep up the good work, man.
Thank you. And thank you for having me today. I mean, thank you for allowing me an opportunity to share, hope with introvert entrepreneurs and with those who either want to go into business for themselves and help other people and change lives. It's been a great opportunity, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely our pleasure. All right, until next time, this is Stone Payton for our guest today with quietexperts.com, Bayo AO, and everyone here at the Business Radio X family saying we'll see you next time on Coach the Coach.